Hey everyone, welcome to Yoga Moments. I'm Janice, and today we have a flow for our hips and our hamstrings and backs of our legs. So if you are ready, grab a block or a book. I always recommend like the fourth Harry Potter because it's thick and it kind of mimics this shape. I also have a towel here that we can use and we will use. So if you have one, grab it. Otherwise, we'll just adapt and modify and improvise on the fly. And get ready because it's going to feel really, really good in the backs of our legs today and our hips. So we'll start by setting these to the side. And when you're ready, we're going to come into a standing posture at the top of our mat. So we're going to warm up the body with a couple of sun salutations, finding this alignment, pressing all four corners of our feet into the ground, lifting up from the heels. Stacking our head over our heart over our pelvis, or doing the best we can. And from here, we're going to bend our knees. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, bring it into a forward fold. So bend your knees, bring your tummy down to your thighs. Inhale, we're going to slide the hands all the way up, come into a nice flat back position. So gaze is down. Draw your navel and heart up towards the spine. Exhale, we'll plant the hands on either side of the feet. Step the right foot back, step the left foot back, and come into a down dog. So take a moment here, pedal it out. We're just waking up the body. And see if you can really press into all 10 fingers here. Then we'll slide our heart and our navel up into plank. Exhale, lower all the way down. So you can come into cobra here. Hands underneath the shoulders and press into the pelvis. Inhale, come up, or yogi's choice. You can go from plank, exhale halfway down, and then sweep the heart up and come into upward dog. So your choice, either way. From here, we're going to lift our hips up, come into downward dog, and then we'll step the right foot up, step the left foot up to meet it. Inhale, find that halfway lift again. So press into all four corners of the feet, nice flat back. Exhale all the way down. And then press into your feet, come all the way up. And exhale our hands to our heart. So a lot of flow going on. If you're new at this, don't worry. Pick up what you can and you'll gain a little more every time. So it's really about learning. We're going to do it a few more times. So press into all four corners of your feet. They can be hip width apart if that's more comfortable. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. We're going to plant the hands. Oh, no, we're just kidding. We're going to inhale, getting ahead of myself. Come into a nice flat back. Exhale, lower down. We'll plant the hands now. Step the left foot back. Step the right foot back. Come into down dog. And then inhale, draw your navel up over a beach ball, slide forward into a plank, and exhale, you can lower down to cobra or chaturanga to up dog. So chaturanga is your halfway down. Either way, lift the hips when you're ready. We'll meet in downward facing dog. You can pedal out the backs of the legs here, pedal out the feet, and then we'll step the left foot up. Step the right foot up. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, lower down. And then root to rise here. So press into your feet, rise all the way up. Sweep the arms nice and high. Exhale, hands to heart. So you got this. Hopefully you're feeling a little bit of warmth, a little bit of heat in the body. We're going to do one more time on each side. So inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands. Step the right foot back, followed by the left. All the way to down dog. And then inhale, slide that navel up. Exhale, chaturanga to up dog or cobra. You got this. On an exhale, we'll lift our hips, come up into down dog. Step the right foot up, step the left foot up. Inhale, halfway lift. So really draw that front body up towards the back body. Exhale, lower down. And inhale, sweep all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Last time, inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to halfway lift. Find a little length in the neck, gazes down. Exhale, lower. Plant the hands, step the left foot back, step the right foot back. You got this. Inhale, slide forward to plank. Lift the navel up. Exhale, cobra or chaturanga to up dog, your choice. Lift your heart. Exhale, we'll meet in downward dog. And then we'll step the left foot up. Step the right foot up. Inhale, halfway lift. Draw that front body up. Reach the heart away from the pelvis. Exhale, lower down. And then press into those feet. Come all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart. You are amazing. You guys have done it. And now we're going to keep exploring here. So we've got the body nice and warm. And we're going to bring our block, we'll come back a little bit here, into the tallest side. And generally speaking, with a forward fold, you would bend the knees and bring your tummy to your thighs. And that works for most people, but a lot of people still have tight hamstrings. And part of the reason for that is our hamstrings connect to our sit bones. So if we take the pressure off of our hamstrings, and by that I mean I'm planting my feet, pressing into all four corners, drawing up from the arch. And I want to stack my sit bones over top of my ankles here. So take a minute, see if you can find that alignment. Excuse me. And then I'm going to take some of the weight of my upper body into the block. So I'm not asking my hamstrings to hold on to my upper body, because when we tilt forward, the hamstrings actually contract and they want to hold the upper body in place. So if we take some of the pressure off of that, and then I'm reaching my heart towards the block, which shouldn't be in front of you. If it is, walk it back a little bit, just inch it back. And just breathe here. So I have a micro bend in my knees. And I'm just letting my heart reach towards the earth or the block. And if it feels good to you, find a little sway. You should feel a nice stretch in the back of your hamstrings. If it feels like it's pinching, come up just a little bit, take some of the weight off. But you might find a little sway side to side. Feels good. So just a different perspective, a different angle to approach our hamstrings. And then when you're ready, we're going to draw our navel and our heart up towards our spine. Press into the ground, bend the knees, come all the way up, and we'll set our block over to the side. So we're going to inhale, sweep up, get wide here. Exhale, forward fold. I'm going to plant my hands on either side of my feet, bending my knees here. Step the right foot back. And I'm going to lower my knee into a nice low lunge here. So my left knee is over top of my left ankle. And from here, I'm going to draw my heart up, hugging in from the navel. And I'm stretching out here. So drawing my left hip crease back and feeling a nice stretch across the front of my right hip. Breathing here, letting my hips be heavy, so coming towards the earth. If you'd like, you can reach up, create a little bit of lift, press into that back foot, press in all four corners of the front foot. Breathe here. We'll exhale, plant the hands and slide our hip crease back. So my left toes are going to come up towards my face. I'm lifting my left hip crease up and back. And I'm keeping a nice bend in my left knee, because you don't want to overstretch. You don't want to create a pinching feeling. So your body's always talking to you and giving you feedback. If it's pinching and hurting, that's too far. So we'll just come back a little. Everybody inhale, look forward, reach your heart forward. And if you feel like your heart didn't move very far, don't worry. You are not alone. We'll exhale, roll through, plant the left foot. Plant the hands on either side of the left foot, step it back, and we'll take a float here. So exhale, chaturanga to up dog or cobra. On an exhale, we'll make our way to downward dog. See if you can lift your hips up and back here, press into all 10 fingers. Find something new here. Maybe you but kind of rotate your inner thighs towards the back wall. So into the midline and back. And then we'll step the right foot up, lower our back knee here, and come into a low lunge. So my right knee is over top of my right ankle. I'm going to inhale, come all the way up, draw my right hip crease back, and I am squeezing my thighs towards the midline. It's giving me that stability to kind of stay upright and centered, which is nice. We'll inhale, reach the arms up if it feels good to you. Breathe here. Let your hip bones be heavy. And then we'll exhale, bring our hands to either side, and shift our right hip crease up and back. So right toes are going to curl up towards our face. Again, nice bend in the right knee. Breathe here. If your shoulders are creeping up, drop them down away from your ears. And then inhale, look forward. On an exhale, we'll rock it back to our low lunge. Press into the ground, step the right foot back, coming into plank, and you got it. Another flow here. So exhale, cobra or chaturanga to up dog, your choice. We'll meet in downward dog on an exhale. And I always pedal out my feet. It just feels really good because I tend to be tight in the back of my legs. So from here, we'll step it up, or you can skip, you can jump, you can walk into our forward fold, and we'll inhale, roll it all the way up. Okay, so if you need a little extra balance, come to a wall, or if you don't have a block or a book you're willing to use, you can maybe at some point find a stair. And I'm actually going to stand on my block here. So getting a little unconventional, but using the wall to give me a little extra balance if you need. I'm going to reach my heel off the back of the block. So right heel is just a little off, or maybe about halfway off. And I'm just reaching through the back of my heel. So see if you can maintain your pelvic floor lifting up, your heart drawing up, navel's hugging in and up as well. Nice alignment here. And just breathing, giving it time to stretch out a little bit. And then we'll take it to the other side. So finding a nice stable position. And you can also do this if you just fold up a towel. You can stand on the towel or roll it up and reach off the back of that. A little harder to find balance there, but you can do it. So make sure you're finding this upward alignment, because it's easy sometimes to just kind of watch what you're doing here. So see if you can find that lift up in the front body. Definitely use a wall if you need. Breathing here, and then when you're ready, we'll step it off the blocks or the towel. And from here, again, if you need a wall, you can stick with the wall, but we're gonna try and practice a little bit of balance here. So bring your big toes together and a little bit of space in between your heels. We're gonna find this alignment, so this nice lift up in the body, the front body with our navel drawing in and up, our heart lifted. We'll make a nice little mesh and mesh with our hands and lift our right knee, coming up all the way to catch it with our hands. So press into that left foot, draw up from the left arch, squeeze your sit bones together. And then we'll reach down with our right hand if that's available to us, and we're gonna come into a quadricep stretch here. So let me just turn so that you guys can see. So we're going from here, reaching down if that's available. If not, I'll give you an option here in a second. But we're gonna reach our heel up towards our glutes and make sure that we're not kind of flexing in the hip, but we're keeping this nice upward stretch going. So lift in the front body. It's going to help give us a nice stretch in the quads just to counter the stretch in our hamstrings. If you are having trouble with that, no worries. Keep breathing. Take breaks if you need. You can always pick up your right foot like this, grab a wall if you need, use your towel. Again, make sure you're not flexing in the hips. You want to be nice and open, creating that nice long stretch. So tune into how you feel here. Breathe. Just going to set the towel down. And then when you're ready, we'll switch to the other side. So taking it with our hands in control if we can, pressing into all four corners of the right foot and lifting up from the arch. We'll inhale, lift the left knee, catch it here. So see if you can keep your heart lifted. That's going to give you lots of stability. Press into the ground. And then when you're ready with the left hand, we'll reach down for our left ankle and we'll bring our knee right through towards the ground. And you can experiment here, flexing your left foot or pointing the toes. It will change the stretch. And if you notice that your left side is different than your right in terms of mobility, if you fall, don't worry, we got you. You're not alone. Our bodies vary within themselves from the left side to the right side. One more big sweet breath here. Lift your heart. You got this. And then with control, we're just going to release to the ground. Beautiful. And now my favorite part, we're just going to come all the way onto the ground. So coming into a nice seat. If you would like, we can grab our towel, give us something a little bit to sit up on here. And we're going to come into a wide-legged seat, so opening the hips up a little bit here. And if your legs don't open too far, don't worry. It's a practice, so we'll get there. So I'm going to engage my toes, turn them up towards the sky here. I'm going to take a big breath in, so inhale, turn to the right side, and we'll reach towards our right foot. So if your hands only come down to your knee or your shin, don't worry. We're going to ground through the thigh bones. So your thighs are reaching towards the ground, toes pointing up towards the sky. Be kind to your knees if you need to make any adjustments. And we'll reach our heart towards our right foot. Breathing here, so see if you can take a nice big belly breath. And the nice thing is even though we're focused on our hips and hamstrings, even taking a deep breath here is going to help with our lower back. And eventually with practice, you might even be able to melt your head to your knee. On an inhale, we're going to come all the way up. You got this. Maybe you're smiling. Maybe it feels good. We're going to exhale and just walk our hands out to the center. So coming straight forward, which can be challenging. If it helps, grab a block or a book and you can reach your hands towards that. Sometimes just not really having any spatial cue of where to reach or what you can hold. It gives your body a little sense of insecurity. So even if you put a block there, you can reach towards that. Ground your thigh bones down. Toes up towards the ceiling. Nice big belly breaths here. So letting your breathing do the work. And then on an inhale, we'll come all the way up. Turn to our left side. One last side here. Make it the sweetest one yet. And we'll exhale, reach our heart towards our toes. So toes active in both feet, thighs grounding down. Coming up onto a blanket or a towel definitely helps. Because sometimes in this posture, our pelvis wants to rock back to give our hip flexors space. So coming up on something just gives them a little more space to work. And then we're not compensating so much with, overcoming our pelvis being angled back a little bit. So if that made no sense to you, don't worry. I just really geek out over anatomy. So reaching your heart towards your left toes here. See if you can deepen your breath. Ground down through the thighs and inhale. We'll come all the way up. And I'm going to bring my legs together. We're going to come onto our backs. Keep your towel and your block somewhere within reach. And we're going to come all the way onto our back. So when you get there, take a second, get settled. Adjust your ponytail or whatever you need. And we'll take one big, nice stretch. Just lengthen our spine here. Should feel really good. And then we'll grab our towel. And if you need it, if you don't, no worries. We're gonna hook it around the toes and the balls of our feet on the right foot and reach that up towards the sky here. So if you can reach with just your hand, go for it. That's totally okay. But if you need a little extra length to keep your shoulders on the mat, then go ahead, use a towel or use a strap. Or get a friend maybe. And we're just going to reach our heel up towards the sky. So again, keeping my left thigh bone grounded, reaching up nice and high. Breathing here. So if you feel a little shake, moving energy over here. And then you can play with bringing it towards the top of your head. You can play with bringing your foot out towards the side. Just because of my space setup, I'm a little limited on that, but if you've got room, I encourage you absolutely go play. Mindfully, safely, listen to your body, of course. But a sense of curiosity is not a bad thing. So definitely exploring what feels good, what doesn't, minding your breath. And when you're ready, we'll bring the right foot back to the ground. Just notice how you feel between the right side and the left side at the moment. Probably feels a little different. And we'll bring our towel around our left foot if we need. And reach the left foot up all the way towards the sky. So it doesn't matter if your knee is bent. Either way, reach your heel up towards the sky. Create a little stretch in the back of the leg. Ground through that right thigh, right toes up towards the earth. See if you can keep your elbows, or not your elbows, your shoulders to the mat. Total anatomy geek, I just sometimes still confuse which part is which. But I got you, don't worry. Reaching through, you might take it more towards the top of your head. You might take it all the way out to the side. Be mindful and listen. I'm going to stay up towards the sky just because I did that on the right side, but play if that's what's inspiring you. One more big sweet breath. See if you can fill your entire belly. And then exhale, we'll release. You can put the towel to the side. And from here, we're gonna walk our heels up so that they are under our knees. And for most people, that's kind of where your big finger kind of meets your heel. But take a look and find where that is for you. If you would like, you can take the block that we've kept. You can put it between your thighs just for something to remind you to engage, squeeze towards the midline. And from here, we are going to press into all four corners of our feet, so much so that our hips actually start to lift up. So lifting our hips up towards the sky, coming into bridge, squeezing our thighs towards the midline. Chest comes towards the chin, and chin is going to come up towards the sky. So there's no pressure in the back of our neck. You can look towards the video if you need. Reach your knees towards the wall or towards the bottom end of your mat. See if you can soften your glutes, soften your butt. And then exhale, we'll lower down. So see if you can slow that motion. Articulate every vertebrae, kind of meeting the mat here. And I encourage you to stay here. So sometimes it's tempting to rock and undo it, but we're gonna do one more. So we've already practiced putting our body into that position. And rather than shake all of that out, we're gonna go right back into it. So inhale, lift those hips up towards the sky. Press into all four corners of both feet. Reach the knees towards the south end of your mat. You can interlace your fingers behind you if you'd like on the mat. See if you can soften in the glutes, in the butt. And then we'll exhale, lower one vertebrae at a time, coming back onto the mat. And before you rock it out, just see if you can take 1 or 2 breaths here. And we'll take the block, keep it close by because you can do this if you want or not. Just be aware of where your tailbone is. We're gonna press into our feet, lift up our hips, and slide the block in just underneath our sacrum. So the lower part of the spine, the tailbone should be hanging just off, well not hanging, but reaching just off the south end of the block. And we'll exhale, extend the right leg. And just take a breath here, give your body time to adjust. And then we'll exhale, extend the left leg. So make sure you're on the lowest support here. And we don't need to arch our back too much, but just a nice hip opener here for the hip flexors. And breathe here. So see if you can breathe all the way into your hips. Should feel really good. And again, you don't have to put in a whole lot of effort here, just breathe. And if you need to make adjustments, if you find that the block isn't quite in the right spot, then go for it. I mean, there's no judgment of, you know, not getting it right the first time. Even after doing this for several years, I still have to make adjustments, and that's normal, that's good, that's kindness. So, you know, there's a lot of pressure sometimes to get it right and to just roll with it, but listen to your body, listen to your heart. Finding what feels good here. We'll take 2 more big breaths. All the way down into our hips. And then we'll Draw our right knee up, draw our left knee up, plant both feet. Press into the ground just enough to slide that block out. And we'll put it to the side because we don't need it anymore. We're going to come into reclined pigeon. So we're going to take the right ankle over top of the left knee. The right hand is going to go through that nice little triangle in between our thighs, and the left hand's going to come all the way around. So bringing our left thigh up towards our chest. Our left shin is parallel to the earth, and both feet are active, engaged here. So reaching both toes towards the ceiling. And if you're really just starting to open up the hips and you don't have a ton of mobility, you might just keep the left foot on the ground. So I've definitely known clients or, other yogis who are pretty tight in the hips, and if this is where you're at, then no worries. As you grow, you'll start to draw your thighs up towards your chest. Breathe here, and breathe all the way into that external right hip. Such an anatomy junkie, and I still sometimes confuse or forget the words, so like I said, everything's a practice here. We just take it moment by moment. One more big breath. We'll bring it back to the ground here. Left foot, then the right foot, and we'll take it to the other side. So left ankle comes towards the right knee. Again, if this is, enough hip extension for you or rotation for you, then stay here. Otherwise, we'll inhale, draw our right knee, our right thigh up towards our chest. Both toes should be actively engaged here, reaching up towards the sky. Right shin is parallel to the ground. And it's almost like you're pushing your right foot against a wall here. So breathing into that external rotation, breathing into our left hip. And that's really where the difference is going to be made. So using your breath here. One more big breath. Fill your belly, fill your hip. And then on an exhale, we'll release. And I'm just going to let my legs fall kind of to the left, to the right, windshield washer them here. And I'm going to rock mine all the way out, fully extended, reach up overhead, take a full body stretch. If you want, you can always choose to do like a happy baby or a spinal twist if that feels good to you. I'm going to come into Shavasana. If you have no idea what those are, don't worry. You will learn, I promise. But in the meantime, just join me in Shavasana. So letting your body soften, letting your weight sink into the earth, feeling your mat, having your back. Just noticing how you feel. And when you're ready, I will bring my hands up to my heart or my third eye, whatever is most comfortable for you. I'm feeling the love today, so heart it is. And thank you so, so much for inviting me into your home and spending this time with me. I hope that you're feeling really, really good. That's why we do this. We're meant to feel good. We're meant to move with ease. And I so appreciate you dedicating this time to yourself. So from my heart to yours, namaste.